This hour traffic brought to you by Glenn Stewart. 10-989, a nickel and a dime. Stay tuned. Hour number one of the Josh Guillory Show is up next. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your grateful host, and in studio with me, Q Money Magic over there. What's up, Q?
Good afternoon. A beautiful day to be an American.
It is always a beautiful day to be American, even when silly people are in charge.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean? Man, we're broadcasting live on Rumble. Let me see you. That's Real Shab, Big Tib, all the folks. Man, let's hit it hard. I want to see a strong presence on Rumble.com today. Join these folks, man. Let's do it because we got some topics to discuss. That chat is live on Rumble. Shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. Check us out over there. All right. Let's go. All right now. Our folks in Minnesota. We want to stay there, but you know, I promise you, I'm going to give you different angles and different things to think about because I'm pretty confident by now, most of the great people listening and watching this show understand the seriousness of what is happening in Minneapolis specifically, but Minnesota. So now I'm reading an article I'm referring to an article Fox News Digital, and it's reporting on the deadly confrontation, and you may have seen this in Minneapolis, where an ICE agent sadly fatally shot a woman after DHS says she, even more sadly, used her vehicle to ram federal officers during a targeted immigration enforcement operation. Well, that sounds very peaceful. That sounds like a peaceful way to prove your point. Well, it ended up leading to her death. So a few facts. All right, ICE officers were conducting a lawful enforcement action near East 34th Street and Portland Avenue over there in Minneapolis. A hostile crowd formed and blocked agents. DHS says one woman accelerated her vehicle toward officers, that was this lady we just referenced, turning the car basically into a missile, a weapon. An ICE agent fired defensive shots. The woman was killed. Multiple officers were injured. They are expected to recover. DHS reports a sharp surge in assaults and death threats against immigration officers nationwide. We covered a little bit of that in the Minneapolis area. So I think yesterday we talked about that. So Minneapolis officials advised the public to avoid the area during the incident. I mean, just, if we have time and we get to that Ilhan Omar bill, you know what I'm talking about, the earmark.
Yep.
If we have time to get, if your blood's not boiling now, or if you're not interested in the subject yet, you can't make up. She's earmarking money to go back to some of those causes. We'll hopefully get to that. Maybe we'll cover it tomorrow if we don't cover it today. But yeah, man. But this ICE agent, I mean, these folks. Let's talk about it though, because the story is more. As my voice is cracking, maybe I'm going through puberty. You think so? Can you do that at 42? This story is about the collision. And I say a long time coming collision between political messaging and real-world consequences. That's the theme of this week. That is the theme of this week when we think of Minneapolis, when we think of Minnesota, when we think of Governor Walz, when we think of Ilhan Omar, when we think of all the elites that were controlling these two little puppets. Federal officers enforcing the law, let's think about this. Were placed in a confined urban space, surrounded, blocked, and then confronted with a vehicle moving toward them at a very aggressive rate. That moment was created long before the trigger was fired. Long before. Law enforcement operates downstream from leadership. Let us not remember that. Or let's do the opposite. Let us remember that. Let us not forget. When political leaders spend years portraying officers as enemies, occupiers, villains, you've seen it. We've all seen it. We've seen it. It shows up in decisions that turn seconds into life or death moments. Using a vehicle against officers is lethal force. Training exists for that scenario because it has killed officers before. You can ask Joe. The response in that moment is shaped by survival. It is not shaped by politics. It is not shaped, big boy, we're fixing it. We're fixing our Rumble right now. But it's not shaped by any of that. And it's not shaped by social media narratives either. This is also a warning about disorder. I mean, we get so much from this story. Sad. It's a sad story. Very sad. But there are some lessons here, and there are some things that we can learn about. You know, this is basically, one headline could be a warning about disaster. If you think about it. I mean, when cities project resistance to federal law, enforcement still happens. I know there's some arguments out there on supremacy, or there's some discussion on the supremacy clause going on. We haven't covered that yet, but it does exist for a reason. But this warning about this disorder, we should all heed to it, because there are municipalities across this viewing and listening audience that, look, they may share some of these extreme values. They may say, look, we're not going to, for whatever reason, we're not going to support ICE agents. We're okay with the chaos. Maybe that's what I don't know. But that environment right there produces instability. Instability produces tragedy. And that pattern is predictable. but that pattern is also avoidable. I mean, a serious country does not ask officers to absorb violence to protect political comfort. A serious country does not outsource enforcement to chaos, which is what we're seeing. Order is not a partisan value. It is the foundation that allows debate, reform, and compassion to all exist at once. There's room to argue immigration policy. We should always do that. My argument is enforce the law. But we can talk. How about this? Let's start off by that. We are doing it now, but let's just do that first. Can we just, before we change the law that we're not enforcing, can we just enforce that law first? Q, let's take us into a little break real quick, and then we'll go hit up Rumble. Rumble guys, be patient with us. All right, guys, stick around. We will be right back. Doing some mic checks for the Rumble folks out there in the YouTubes and all that stuff. Man, and we got to look at our audience. I know, we got to fix this. Come on. You got this. Take your time. Hey, listen, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Slow is smooth. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. TikTok, y'all can take that. Free of charge. No charge for that. Guys, got about a minute left till we go off of commercial break. That's real shy. He sounds like a drunk Cajun squirrel. Squaduckle. That's our Rumble chat, guys. Rumble.com is where we host the show, podcasts, things like that. But I'm happy to be here on TikTok as well, especially during our commercial breaks here on the TikToks. Okay, you got 5 seconds. So you're okay. You're okay. Look, you got 30-second bump in. So are you good? Are our mics good? Okay. All right. Is it better now? Or we don't know? Okay. What segment? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. All right, broadcasting live from the KPL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Rumble.com. Go check us out. And I'm telling you, the audio is about to be fixed. That's real, Shad. She says, I sound like I'm sitting inside a crawfish boil pot. I get it. Well, you know, the KPL folks and the TikTok and everybody, I guess they don't have to suffer through that, but thank you guys over there on Rumble.com. We're going to look quick. I'm looking at him right here. Look, he's changing my mind. There you go. All right. So, again, we're talking about a lady that made the decision over there in Minnesota, Minneapolis specifically, to use her vehicle as a weapon against officers, and that is lethal force. And there's been training out there that has evolved since that threat, or not that threat, but since that threat has evolved over the years, especially with the political rhetoric, the call for violence and things like that, usually from the left. But we were also talking about a warning. You know, when cities, when they make the choice that just willy-nilly, I'm not gonna abide by federal law, the enforcement still happens. And it causes a lot of unnecessary hostility. It creates an environment where just nothing's stable, which leads to further tragedy, further destruction. And as we said earlier, the predictability of it is glowing, and it's needless. And we can debate all the things, but a woman lost her life, and that matters. Officers were injured in the attack. That matters. The public deserves truth instead of spin. We'll say that. We deserve responsibility instead of all the outrage. I definitely will say that. And I think leadership that understands cause and effect is going to be the solution to the problem in Minneapolis. Or maybe Minnesota across the board. Hate to single out a single city. But that's what it's going to take. Whether that's Democrat or Republican, you know, I know Democrat leadership. If the Democrat in Minnesota who does win and wants to do that, if you're anything like what we're seeing in the DNC, you're not going to be able to see that cause and effect. All you see is your political ambition and goal. We're good?
We're good.
We're good. Hey, Rumble. Let me see that chat again. Rumble. Hey, Q says we're good. All right. Oh, not yet. He said, oh, perfect. There we go. Thank you. Look at our teamwork right there. Thank you, guys. I certainly appreciate that. Happy to have everybody aboard. Now go to rumble.com. We're all good. Join that chat. It's pretty healthy chat. Like, that's real chat. But all this serious stuff, man. Person lost their life. Officers injured. Very, very important facts. Because we need to know some things as a society, and we will in time. We will. The process, there should be an objective process, but right now, as part of that, I guess, this is the process whether we like it or not, because with technology, it's just a different environment. Doesn't make us bad. Doesn't make this time in our life evil. New technology can't. I wonder if they said that when the wheel was created. You know, create the wheel. He just ruined society. You ain't listening to me. You typing. No, go at it, buddy. Go at it. Keep the chat alive. I love it. But this the specific one, I think it's a case study in what happens when enforcement is actually isolated, when it's demonized, when it's sent into conflict without civic backing, when it's just displayed in a way that we've seen or portrayed. The law did not fail here. The environment failed. So, now, sticking with Minnesota, and I'm covering this because I'm telling you, this is the case study right now. There are probably other examples, and maybe, just maybe, perhaps us talking about it prevents the next disaster from happening. Never know. But we can attack this and not attack. We can address this. Attack it. We can address this without, we can do it, even if we have differing views, because some of these facts are apolitical. I would say facts should always be apolitical. All right, so this time let's talk about a Minnesota legislative audit that just dropped. And this is from Minnesota, okay? It's within the state. And it shows even more failures inside the state's Department of Human Services. Check us out up there, Q. Now, specifically in this, the Behavioral Health Administration. Now, some of these questions, some of these failures that their own audit says, and I don't know what type of audit. I don't know if it was one of these political ones, or if this was legitimate. But it's coming out, and it's out. But it includes things like fabricated documents, missing oversight. Really? In Minnesota? Missing oversight? No. Misconduct tied to hundreds of millions of tax dollars. This is a different agency, by the way, guys. Just letting you know. Same neighborhood, different house. So, a few little facts. The nonpartisan legislative auditor, that's how they portrayed him. I don't know. But this entity reviewed more than $425 million in behavioral health grants handed out to over 800 organizations. Get that power, baby. Get that power, make it rain. Get that power, make it rain. Auditors found missing progress reports, incomplete or undocumented monitoring visits. It's just like the Feed Our Future program. It's just like any other predominantly Democrat-led program, but rhinos sure do give them some competition. Not saying these folks are bad people. They just have a different way of solving the problem. They want the government to solve the problem. Rhinos and Democrat leadership wants the government to fix all of our problems, legislate morality, create a little program because we got to help people. All you're doing is helping your partners, and you're creating power that is hard to get rid of. Although at the local level, it's not. And that's the beauty of it. So if you have some policies that are in place, not saying anybody's bad, but if you have some policies in place that the community says, hey, man, I don't really like that anymore. Okay, you change course peacefully, and here we go. No big deal. No big deal. Not so easy at the state level, but it still can be done at the state level relatively easy. Federal level, hello. And while we're talking about a state agency in this particular discussion, there's a lot of federal dollars and federal programs tied to it. That department probably didn't see a federal check they didn't fall in love with. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back, and I can't wait. Ooh, I need to drink some water. TikTok, what y'all think, man? Appreciate you guys. Can't roll your mic off, so I Hey, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Look at the button. All right, Warren. What you got, Warren? Kevin made some good points, man. A lot of folks. Are you good? All right, get on there and say we should be good.
Lawyer. I mean, they're talking like this could be $20 to $50 billion. This is not. We made a mistake. Oh God, this is outright theft, God. And we tried to send you a photocopy of that list. We looked for it, and somebody took a picture of it because it's not up. Couldn't find it, but somebody took a photocopy of it, so there is a list. But this is just outright theft, and they've been doing this. This ain't nothing new. This is just like stealing electric. This is industrial grade fraud and treason. Thank God.
Hey, thanks, Warren. Appreciate the call, my friend, as always. All right, here. Go see if Joe can pull it up on his computer. All right. So, the nonpartisan legislative auditor. Now, again, I don't know. We don't know how partisan or not. But I will say this, though. Before we go into this discussion a little bit more in detail, let me tell you about my friends over there at CSafe. I hadn't said it in a while, and I need to remind you. When strength matters, when custom matters, when failure is not an option, CSafe delivers. If you are interested in these FRP products, CSafe FRP products, well, they're engineered to take on a lot of damage. They can take on a lot. Offshore platforms use them, wastewater treatment plants, everywhere in between. They're American-made. They're right here in Acadiana by American workers. I love it. CSafe, SEA, just like the ocean. Check my boys and gals over there out. CSafe.com. So the review of Minnesota comes in from this particular department, a totally different one. More than $425 million. I think that's what Warren was alluding to. More than $425 million in behavioral health grants handed out to over 800 organizations. A lot of things missing. Shocker. So I think this could be a part where most of us kind of, our antennas go up. We're thinking about it a little bit harder, what we care about. Because can we all agree that I don't even think we should even call it a scandal anymore? Like, scandal has a name, like a place, and then there's like light years ahead of that. I mean, all right, it's a system. We could call it that.
That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a system. So Minnesota didn't just lose track of money. Responsibility went out the window. Not even like, that's what they lost track of. Yeah, they lost track of money and responsibility. When documents are fabricated after auditors show up, that tells you something very important. Perhaps it wasn't confusion, because it looks a heck of a lot more like panic. And what do we expect? I mean, when oversight becomes optional, nobody expects consequences. And I will tell you, yes, this is an example in Minnesota. This level of fraud, I don't know about this level, but this type of fraudulent activity of programs being abused, federal dollars funneled through state agencies, coupled with folks that, maybe made the choice to bet on the system, bet on the game, bet on time. And they had 4 years of no oversight. 4 years of the fox guarding the hen house. It was wild. And a lot of people probably will still get away with it. I hope most don't. I would hope none of them do. But my goodness. Oh, and let's talk about the behavioral health grants. Let's talk about those, because behavioral health, mental health, look, that is legit. And I'm married to a counselor, so I guess I'm biased. I told her she didn't have to go get her education. She had like inpatient for years before she went and got her education. They should have given her a doctorate degree. But, you know, she had to go the old-fashioned way. That was, anywho. But that type of science is needed. Behavioral health we're learning so much more about it, and mental health and things like that. Go ask folks that suffered through COVID. Just saying. And I'm not talking about COVID being the disease, government, elitists, control. But these behavioral health grants, they exist for one reason: to help people who are struggling. I mean, we're talking addiction, mental illness, families in crisis, kids in need of care type stuff. When hundreds of millions of dollars flow through an agency with no training, virtually no monitoring, and I would say no monitoring, no accountability, no oversight, the people who suffer first are the ones that these programs were supposed to help. And we saw that with Feed Our Future. We saw that with the Learning Center. Did they ever fix it to Learning Center?
They did within like 48 hours of the news breaking.
48? Well, that should have been 48 minutes.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I mean, when you're called out on national news, like national platforms, like the Josh Giller show, but technically it's... But really, like, man, 48 hours? I'm like, hey, PR, we misspelled the I wonder if they even owned it. They probably like, nope. Anyway, all right, look, let's take a tiny little break. When we get back, we'll keep the phone lines open. I can't wait. Rumble.com. Keep that chat going, my friends. Don't crash it. All right, we're all good. Okay. Hey, TikTok guys, man, we're on we're very blessed. So, you want to take us off of I'll put my mic? Oh, we're about to go live.
Yeah.
Put the commercial break back. Sorry, my fault. But anyway, look, we're on several platforms, but check us out on TikTok, man. We'd love, follow us. This live thing, we're going to do this every day. 1 hour live in the first hour, then we click over, take a little 5-minute break, and we do another one. But we're literally about to go live here. TikTok, like the behind the scenes. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the mothership, rumble.com. Go look up the Josh Guillory Show. I'm sticking with it. Also very blessed to be broadcasting from our home base. See, I'll give some tender love and care to all of it. KPEL Studios, we certainly appreciate that. All right, and this segment brought to you by my friends over there at CSafe, csafe.com, SEA, just like the Gulf of America. But my friend, Mr. Blue Wave, Gulf of Mexico for you. All right, let's see here. Let's go to Stephen. Stephen, I believe, wants to talk about wasteful spending in the military. Bring it, Stephen. What you got, baby?
So too, all these missiles and stuff like that, they're sending over there to Ukraine. They're sending all our supply of missiles and all this stuff over there, and it's another enormous suck on us. Our currency is beginning to become causing inflation right now because we can't find people to pay taxes to pay for all this stuff. We just have to print the money.
Yeah, yeah, right. He's right on that point. Hey, thanks, Stephen. I appreciate it, brother. A lot of questions on the Ukraine stuff. I think those are very fair. And, I don't know. I'm not privy to the conversations in the executive office over there in the Oval Office. But I will acknowledge this fact. The current president didn't let this happen. The current president inherited it. And I think the current president's just trying to figure it out. But I'm with Stephen on questioning in good faith. And I think he is too. Questioning why we're spending the money and why we're sending the resources to non-Americans. Now, there might be a reason for that. There may very well be a reason for that. And as we see, that whole region right there, China, Russia, Ukraine, all that, look at the bigger picture. Look at the tariffs. Look at the border. Now tie into what happened with Maduro, the oil, and heck, even the interest in Greenland starting to make sense. I'm not saying we take over Greenland. I'm just saying I do find, and maybe it was ignorance on my part. Maybe I didn't realize the strategic I knew there were strategic advantages over there at Greenland, but the more we talk about it and have talked about it since the president's been sworn in, my interest has very much increased. And yeah, it's interesting. But regardless, we don't know where that's going. But there seems to be an overall strategy, and I certainly can appreciate that. Look, we're going to take a tiny little break. Renee, we're going to come right back to you, man. Oh, wait, are we in the last segment? Nope. Yeah, we got to take a tiny little break, Q-Dog. All right. Sorry, guys. No, we're in the last segment. All right, good. I am totally off. This is live radio. Woo. Yeah, he looked at me like I was losing my mind. Okay, sorry, God. Good, because I got more to say. And I bet you Renee does too. Let's go to him. Renee, sorry about the confusion, Renee. It was your grateful host here that messed that up. What's up?
I'm upset. I don't know what people enjoy for the media, entertainment, fishing, hunting, going to the club. Nobody watches PBS anymore because it's too old, LPB. But, the thing is, Russia has a policy. Putin set his policy. The only biggest concern is when we spend money, we have to have somebody watch to make sure it's spent correctly. We are having Ukrainian people fight our war, somewhat, our Cold War against the Russians, so we don't have to send our people over there. How hard is that for people to comprehend that? The same people call and worry about that are not in uniform in some reserve unit or militia waiting to fight the Russians and the Chinese because we're having other people do it that's willing to do it.
Hey, Renee, a lot of folks are sharing your thoughts, brother, and it's, it's an interesting thought. the whole, like you said, the new Cold War type thing. My assessment of the situation, very much a lay person. I am not claiming to be a global policy expert here, but I pay attention. And the people that do claim to be global experts have all got us into the heck we've been into. So I don't know if I can trust them too much. I think we the people kind of have it under control once we understand the facts, if we can get the facts. You get what I'm saying? Right? But man, this whole, my assessment is Russia is still more so a regional threat. I get it; they're a world power, superpower, all the things. Okay, but at the current moment, at most, I think they're at a strong, mind you, regional threat, and I don't think China's much better or worse. That's my honest assessment. Now, put them together, yes, they are a superpower, in my opinion. I think they can create a synergy there, and they've kind of shown the willingness to work together. I'm saying that very loosely. I mean, my goodness. But let's hope not. Let's hope we know. I don't see this situation as a Cold War situation. That's just my take. It's very fair to disagree with me, though. I'll say that because I mean, if you look at the actions, it surely can give you some support there. But I think this is just a combination of ego, probably a little. Almost like a Hitler complex with, Hitler being a corporal in World War I and feeling the shame of Germany losing and other people, have that pride and things like that. I think it's more of a former KGB officer who's butthurt, who wants to bring back the motherland, not the real motherland, Kevin. We know. He's a fakester over there. Maybe it's that. I think that's it. And then you couple that with zero leadership from the leader of the free world, which was President Biden at the time, and you let that happen. Not saying it doesn't happen under Trump. I'm just saying it didn't and has not happened under Trump. That is a fact, Jack. All right. So, hey, guys, look, you can check us out each and every day, rumble.com. You can go to my X page at Josh Giller USA. Very special shout out to our TikTok viewing audience, man. We've been going live each and every day on each hour. Look, we're going to take a tiny little break. When we get back, Q, we're going to have some more fun. We're switching topics.
Yes, indeed.
All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Tiny little break. All right, TikTok. We'll stay on just a little bit. Throw me out after we get a little bit. Hang tight, TikTok. I'm coming. All right. Hey, my ex-following audience at Josh Giller USA. Also, Rumble, YouTube, whole bunch of other ones. I'm sorry if I'm leaving you out. Apologize. We're on commercial break. TikTok, appreciate you guys. Hey, man, let's see. I'll give you a little preview what we're about to talk about. My friend, Mayor Zoran.
Don't fear the Zoran.
Yeah, is there T-shirts?
No, but if you do have
Q, what's your favorite part of Zoran? We're gonna interview Q. Oh, by the way, my friend and spiritual warrior, if you're listening on X and YouTube and all the things, I agree. Q-licious needs his own podcast. You start him off right here. Start him off. Anywho, what's your take on, like, as a whole? Like, don't put much thought to this. Just surface level. Zoran Mamdani. Overall, what's your take?
Blown away. Not in the sense of blown away, impressed. Blown away, this guy got elected in New York City, 24 years after 9/11?
That's interesting.
Like, he campaigned.
Racist.
With an unindicted co-conspirator of the 1990s Trade Center attack.
In New York City.
His city attorney defended Al-Qaeda terrorists.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes.
What?
The
city attorney for New York City.
Yes. Like, if I woke up my age in 2002, if I wouldn't have been in 4th grade and someone told me this, I would have looked at them like they were insane.
Yeah. Like, really?
Like,
no joke, man. That's crazy. But yeah, that's real shit. Yeah. I agree. I'm with you. Yeah, so look, we're going to go into Mayor Zoran Mamdani. Talk about, oh, yeah. Is it C or Cea Weaver?
I have no idea how to
Is it
pronounce her name.
Chi?
Well, that would actually make more sense.
Is it Kai?
It would be in line with Chinese philosophy. So
That's true. That's true. And I'm talking into the microphone that no one's hearing out of. It's out of nature. That's a habit. Let's see here. Rumble's here,
Yes.
right? No, TikTok's here.
No,
TikTok's here. That's
Rumble's
a mic.
here.
Rumble. We are going on backup mic systems here, okay? A little behind the scenes. So appreciate that. By the way, you have to let KLFY Plus know the first two segments.
First two.
First two? Yeah, because we fix it in midstream. Literally.
Literally.
All right, good deal, man. Guys, we certainly appreciate you. Scroll down so I can see the bottom, or is that the bottom? Okay, good deal. All right. Hey, I'm going to take a tiny little break, guys. Stick around. TikTok, I am going to hop off. Go follow our page on TikTok. Give me a little follow. I won't buy it, I promise. Nope, put us on the. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You knew what I was saying. Hey, user. I'll tell you later. We got over 650, close to 700 total. Is it?
I mean, compared to.
Oh, we got 3 lights. That's 3 lights. No, that's 3 lights. I don't know.
Coming to you.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live from rumble.com. Also on my X page at Josh Guillory USA. Go check us out over there. We certainly love it. And a special appreciation to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. We certainly appreciate you. All right, let's go to our friend. Q, this is your friend over here.
Who's that?
Mayor Zoran.
I've always been told, don't fear the Zohan.
Y'all pen pal? Is that a thing anymore? All right, so Mayor Zoran Mamdani of New York City. Well, this is a New York Post report that I'm referring to. And it's on Mayor Mamdani and his newly appointed tenant advocate. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if that's a new thing. We didn't have a Department of Tenant Advocacy when I was around. We didn't have that. I hope we still don't. And I'm probably going to butcher this poor lady's name. I'm so sorry. Cea Weaver. We're going with that. CEA. I hope I really don't try to butcher folks' name. You know, ask Mr. Mamdani. Look how long it took me, though.
I still haven't learned it.
I got this. Practiced on air. Our dear audience had to suffer through that. All right, so this is a report on Mayor Mamdani and his newly appointed tenant advocate, Cea Weaver, who broke down crying when reporters asked her about past comments attacking home ownership and gentrification. Never even heard of what gentrification was until I was in office. And that's when I learned more about it. I said, wait a minute, I don't understand. You bitch at us if we don't invest. And then we invest and you bitch at us because we did invest. I don't understand. It's confusing. Anywho, so attacking home ownership, Miss Weaver did, and gentrification, while her own family wealth and background tell a very different story. Hey, I ain't hating on that. You know, whatever. But the hypocrisy seems to be very prominent amongst the Robin Hoods. So here's a few facts here. Miss Weaver was appointed to lead New York City's Office to Protect Tenants. The cool kids call it the OPT. Get your t-shirts ready. Old social media posts, however, resurfaced where she called home ownership a, quote, weapon of white supremacy. Yeah. And said there's no such thing as a good gentrifier. Okay. When reporters asked her about those statements and about her mother owning a $1.6 million home back in Nashville, Weaver became emotional, and retreated back into her apartment building. Weaver comes from a privileged background, and who cares? She attended a pretty decent school and NYU. She's lived in Crown Heights while criticizing gentrification there. You can't make this up. She later acknowledged regret, though, it's okay, over how she phrased some of her past comments, but defended her activist experience. Don't hate the player. Now, I think this is more important than just a viral clip. You know, this is not about a person getting emotional. It's just a common theme amongst people that can't lead. Not a knock, Not a knock on people. Most people aren't leaders, and that's okay. What do you call them? Leaders? But to whom much is given, much is expected. And crying don't seem to help. But sometimes maybe, I don't know. Who am I to say that? Maybe the crybabies win now. I don't know. Some people might be crying listening to me. I hope not. But this is way more than that, all the emotional stuff and everything. And I'm not against passion, and I'm not against having compassion and having empathy and sympathy. But when you're in a position of leadership, you have to think objectively, which is the absence of emotion. Literally. There's no emotion in objectivity. I'm talking about when you're making decisions. I guess it's to each their own. I don't know. Everybody has their own leadership style. I genuinely say that. I just don't see that leadership style doing much good. That's just my take. Now, New York City handed a serious job, by the way, and apparently some real authority and taxpayer influence to someone whose public ideology openly attacks the very concept of private ownership while benefiting from it personally. You can't make it up. I mean, you want to talk about housing policy? Housing policy affects some folks. And housing policy affects everyone. Housing policy, you could even argue, impacts the little guy more than anybody because of the impact of government's decisions. Meaning if they have to change something, it doesn't hit them proportionately to someone that it has means. It's kind of like the sales tax thing. We often throw that out there and it might be an answer if you can offset it with some other taxes, but anyway, that's a topic for a different day. But housing policy, that affects families, man, like retirees. You got some veterans retired. You got some folks that are on pensions. You got some folks that still exist for some people, or people on fixed incomes. You got renters. You got homeowners. You got first-time buyers trying to get just their foothold. I mean, if you really think about it, housing policy, it's one of the most personal economic issues that a local government could choose to regulate on. And hopefully it stays at the local government, their state rules and laws, and we should address those. And you said we're super majority Republican in Louisiana?
Allegedly.
Okay. See? I assume. I'm telling you, man, if we just send that little cartel, I'm going to be on Capitol Hill, Joni Ernst. But anyway, it's the most personal economic issue you can do on the local level or in government. When the person tasked, however, with protecting tenants has publicly framed home ownership as being immoral, I think folks notice, even in New York. And it's not because they're cruel, but because they are paying attention. And we, the people, know a lot more than the elites give us credit for. All right, let's stick around for just a tiny little moment, just a tiny little break, and we will be right back. Cue money, send us to break. Oh, man. I saw Robert Benoit's comment. Hey, TikTok, appreciate you guys. You get to see the behind the scenes of the Josh Guillory Show. We're going into commercial break. Got about 4 minutes on this one.
Robert's right.
Yeah, he's right.
I mean, he's 99.9, like Dermot, 99.9% of the time he gets the nail on the head. But
Oh, yeah. Artie B?
he went from an extreme elitist background, moves into that neighborhood, and you tell the people who are struggling to survive that, hey, gentrification, while I'm gentrifying your neighborhood,
Yeah. Yeah, while you're... Yeah, exactly. Oh, my gosh.
the hypocrisy that just...
It is. So, I'm going to show my ignorance TikTok, okay? But I really love this audience. I really do. I'm starting to really... We only had the TikTok page on. I mean, I opened it like a year ago, but I kind of took a little hiatus. But I'm coming back. I kind of like this, but I see some folks come in with music. I don't understand it. Am I supposed to hear that? Do you know? You have to know. You're younger than me, and you're my producer.
So I've seen it go a couple of different ways,
All right.
actually. So, like, there's one dude on YouTube, the fat electrician. He comes in with just a quick fact.
Okay, like recorded. It's like, okay.
He'll come up with like a fact.
So that's like your, it's like your intro music,
right.
your announced presence. You're in the building.
Right.
I got you. All right, you want to stick on this? Or you want me to move on?
Yes, Mr. Robert, the mic is still on this time.
Oh yeah. We during commercial. Hey Robert, appreciate you, brother. Did you hear our genuine shout out? You see that? You know I love you, man. As I'm talking into the wrong mic. This is the mic.
Well, earlier I went to turn the live to the radio mics off, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I need to turn this one off.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So even if you switch cameras, they hear it from that mic? That's amazing.
And it's only because I have it set in Windows to never switch mics.
Robert, you're calling me. What's up, boy? Yeah, no, I turned it on purpose. Hey, guys, this is Robert D. Benoit, my former chief of staff and my dear, dear friend who I love very much. He's calling. Yeah, so Q will turn the mic on midstream. Sometimes. You know, I mean, hey, why not? You know what I'm saying? I see all these good chats. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Think different, talk different,
Yes, you have, my friend. All right, brother. Love you, man. Tell Sus today. Okay, buddy. Bye.
Kill Switch says, your theme music is a staple.
Well, thank you, Kill Switch. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Guys, got about a minute left. A little hot minute on this cold commercial break. What you want to do, man? You want to stick on this or?
Yes.
You do?
And then I want to go to 6.
I know, man. Me too.
Let's skip 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I should have flipped those in the rundown.
That's all right. Well, I kind of was looking at the 6 as a team. We're talking about topics that we prep for. We don't get to most of them every day, but we are prepared for you because we are professionals and we take our duty to you very seriously. All right, we got about 30, so we're going to pop. There you go. TikTok, we're going live. I appreciate that as well. Okay, so let's keep talking about a little bit of silliness, but we talk about it so it doesn't hit here or your place, wherever you are. Very blessed to cover a large area, and there's municipalities all within there. So it might, could be knocking on your door. You never know. So we got to know about it. So we have a direct appointee, Cea Weaver, from Mayor Zoran Mamdani, and we good? And so she was appointed to New York City's Office to Protect Tenants. Okay, she goes in there, she attacks home ownership, calls it white privilege, of course. She attacks gentrification, which we could talk about that. It's whatever you think it means. But regardless, she attacks that while moves into Crown Heights and just gentrifies that. It's crazy. But she did later regret over how she phrased some of that stuff, calling all the homeowners racist, white supremacists. I didn't know. Wow. Good. All right. So, she also got a little emotional, by the way. So, but it has more than that, man. This affects real folks, though. You know, the problem here is this is the problem with elite activism. You know, someone comes in here with government, has a lot of influence, a lot of money behind them, gets there by saying one thing and does a total different thing behind the scenes. That's not. That's the Democrats do not have, or the communists and socialists do not have a monopoly on that one. I'll give them that. But this is the problem with elite activism dressed up, painted up, Halloweened out as moral certainty. That drives me insane. The rhetoric is absolute. The lived reality is selective at best. Weaver, she didn't invent this pattern, though. We talked about the pattern. We talked about some of the pattern earlier. It's a different angle of the pattern, but she fits it perfectly. Think about it. Think about it. Radical language aimed at dismantling systems that everyone else relies on, while quietly enjoying the protections and benefits of those same systems. Most Americans don't live in ideological bubbles, madam. They rent. We own, we aspire, we save if we can, we struggle, we get back up. We understand nuance even when politicians pretend it does not exist. You could support tenant protections, and hey, great. That's a local policy. Go do it. It's important to you. It's important, and it's important. But what you do with those labels and money, as we see, is totally different.
Yup.
You know, the people that you say you're helping, you're screwing. But you can criticize. Boy, I'm making up some words today, son. You hear me? You can criticize speculative finance without pretending private property itself is evil. This appointment tells you a lot about the governing philosophy coming out of City Hall in New York City right now. It values ideological signaling over lived experience. That was lived experience.
That's for sure, yes.
You can't teach that in a school or anything like that. But you surround yourself around people that have actual real world experience. This appointment rewards the loudest rhetoric instead of balanced judgment. When you look at the situation objectively, it is very easy to see that valid point I just made. That has consequences, and especially in a city already bleeding residents, capital, opportunity, businesses. Your boys over there telling them, hey, it's not going to be too bad. We're just going to raise your taxes to the level of New Jersey. Well, hey, bright guy, they ain't in New Jersey for a reason. I mean, he acts like this is 1920. Well, he might act like it's 1929. Let's give him a better year. He acts like it's like 1950, where it's just hard to just lift and move all operations. Man, they will move. They may even stay in your city and not be in your city legally and pay taxes. I'm sure there's a tax expert out there that can figure that out. I'm sure there's a lawyer out there that can figure that out legally. It's the mindset is just, he believes it. He just doesn't know he's a puppet. Same thing with Elon. Same thing with Representative Omar and Governor Walz. Same thing. And I say that with respect and honesty and love, but also like that you bring it. Because they're allowed to go say their silly things because they're not really like, although Walz, You made a good point. You can't be that goofy in public and behind the scenes.
No, there's just no way.
Not getting elected to that. All right, so most Americans, I think we see that. And, maybe the quiet part, that might resonate here and resonate across party lines. People are tired of being lectured by professionals of outrage who never seem to live by the rules they demand for others. Democrat or Republican. That frustration, I think, is finally at our doorsteps. And that, Sean had called earlier about being closest to a civil war, which a lot of people believe that. This right here gives me hope that we're not. Because we're seeing more and more Democrat and Republicans, regular folks, like seeing this hypocrisy. That frustration, guys, I'm telling you, crosses party lines, thankfully. It is human. I mean, New York doesn't need more slogans. Can we agree?
That's for sure.
My goodness, them in California. I would say, as an outsider looking in, just a humble little guy over here from Lafayette, Louisiana, New York needs housing that works. Maybe some policies grounded in reality, a little bit of that. Maybe some leaders who respect the fact that building a life often starts with owning something, not apologizing for it. This moment landed across the country because more and more people are talking about it. And I appreciate you allowing us to talk about it, enjoying our conversation. But this whole little moment here that we all get to share landed because it exposed a gap, and a huge gap. And maybe that's the benefit of New York City. We can see it exposed, seriously. So, But it exposed a gap between ideology and reality. They're having a hard time reconciling those right now. Voters will see it eventually. But you know who's going to see it? All these little games and this hypocrisy and appointing people like that brings that culture. Renters, the people that you say that you care about. Renters are going to see it. Homeowners, people that pay taxes to you, to your ideology, they will see it. And I think that is why this story matters. All right, guys, when we get back, I can't not talk about this one. We're going to fit it in. Representative Omar, you want to talk about a bill on Capitol Hill, Joni Ernst? Woo, we're going to have to talk about it. Stick around. It's about to get real. Yeah. All right, TikTok. We're taking a tiny little break, man. Got a few more minutes till we come to final segment of the day because it's Wellness Wednesday. That's good.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people.
I'm going to get some more.
Try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right.
How we doing?
What's up, Q?
Why am I looking into the microphone?
Yeah.
See, now I'm doing it.
So I don't know if you guys can hear Q. Talk about. All right. So don't spill the beans. Well, you can tell a little bit about Ilhan Omar, or whatever comes to your mind.
Well, I can tell you that Ilhan Omar held her campaign victory party at the Safari restaurant.
Yes.
It's now permanently closed because the owner was convicted of fraud. Was BFFs with her campaign staffer.
A little tiny hiatus.
Yeah, about 10 years maybe. But her campaign staffer, they called the staffer her enforcer. Also convicted of fraud. And then you start going through her network of allies, and you realize how many of them have been either accused of by the federal government or convicted of fraud out of the Feeding Our Futures scandal. That's one of them. Then you have the daycare scandals. That's another. You have the child health care services. That's another. And you look at all these different frauds, and you realize they're all surrounding Ilhan Omar, who wrote the bill on Capitol Hill, who made it all possible. And then you have to sit there and go make it make sense. At some point, you have to question whether or not was she involved. Now, no one is accusing her, but my grandpa always told me that if you play in slop, you're going to come out smelling like slop. And I'm telling you, this smells of fraud, and it reeks of bad faith.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best.
And at some point, someone has to look into it. And I'm not quite sure why that hasn't happened yet.
And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort
Talking about
myself and my family.
if you play in slop, you will begin to smell like slop.
Oh, yeah.
And all the people surrounding Ilhan Omar's fraud.
Well, it's a culture, you know.
Yeah, it's
Culture thing. And it is kind of interesting to see the state administration to be that cahoots with a federal congressperson. Imagine if they worked that well together to build roads.
right.
You see what I'm saying? Or I'm sure, like, we have some drainage stuff that needs here. I'm sure they have some snow issues or whatever their issues are.
Right.
Infrastructure.
Or even if it was education, that would be some smart kids by this point. Instead, they've been stuck at home.
How's their insurance?
Probably free. Matter of fact, I can actually attest to that. It's like almost 80%
How about
of
their home and auto?
home and auto. It's probably gold, and they're not in Louisiana. Louisiana has some of the highest insurance rates in the nation, if not the highest. I'm actually quite sure we have the highest home. Well, we definitely have the highest auto insurance rates in the country. I'm not sure about home. Florida might have us there, but we're up there.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy.
And it doesn't look like the costs are coming down anytime soon, unfortunately.
Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear
But overall, the fraud that's happened in Minnesota, specifically in Minneapolis, it's now starting to look like it's crossing over into other states. Ohio, I saw a story earlier that Ohio now has major fraud issues. And like a cancer, this disease is spreading across the country. Yeah, I was surprised to see Ohio on the list.
Yeah. What list?
Oh, I don't even remember where I was reading the article. It was from Quality Reporting, though. It wasn't
A list of bad or a list of good?
Oh, a list of bad.
List of bad.
Ohio? Well, they have a community that's engaged.
Who was the guy that was so nice? Well, he came across very nice, but I don't know how genuine.
Was it Kasich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he started bad-mouthing Trump in a way that was like, I mean, I get it. You can disagree. It's just like, don't be so...
Well, he ran against him in the primary. He stayed in the race longer than anyone else.
That's right. The protest vote.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He got more votes than Kamala Harris. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out to our viewing audience on my page over there at X at Josh Guillory USA. Go see us at rumble.com, man, and we love our KLFY Plus viewing audience as well. Man, when strength matters, I'm telling you about C-Safe. When custom matters, when failure is not an option, we already know. C-Safe delivers. C-Safe FRP products are engineered to resist corrosion, reduce maintenance, outlast the competition in the harshest environments. We know all about it. From offshore platforms to wastewater treatment plants, everywhere in between, over at C-Safe, their products are American-made and manufactured right here in Acadiana by American workers. I love it. C-Safe. Go check them out. csafe.com. SEA, just like the ocean. All right, guys, later in the show, we'll have Winging It Wednesday, which means it is my favorite time of the whole show, 232-1542, 844-766-6607. Now, Q, can the folks in Rumble hear the callers?
They can. I have it.
Oh, nice.
I've been cueing it to the board so that they can hear it.
There you go, guys, and the folks on the KLO5 Plus, they can hear. Wow! All right,
Yes,
see how what a wonderful treat. All right, so let's go straight to Renee. Renee, what you got, my man?
I'm still pulling for and wanting accountability for public officials. You know, if you're a policeman, a CEO, down the street, they can lawsuit you for damaging people and property. But when a mayor pulls away their police, ruins the economy, it don't matter if it's wishful thinking. There should be consequences where they get lawsuits for them sent to jail when they messed up. Like Kami Dami over there in New York. I mean, does he have to prove to California? And come on, one more time. Communism doesn't fail. It's my money. It's my house. It's my dog, cat. It's my place. It's not yours or the government's.
Boom. Thanks, Renee. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. I tell you what, probably a lot of folks sharing that sentiment right now, if I had to guess. Let's see what my boy Warren has to say over there. Warren, what you got, buddy?
Well, I think Trump sees 4 more oil tankers and something to do with Venezuela. One of them was being followed by a Russian submarine, and we landed on it with a chopper. Should have sent a B-3 Orion out for the submarine, and some F-35s, and some C-130 gunships. And they were painting Russia on it when we took it, and they blew up a factory building drones, Iranian drones, on the way out of Venezuela. So Trump ain't playing. He's taking names, and he's letting the rest of the world know that America's back. And if you mess with us, well, you know, you're going to find out. Thank you, Josh.
Well, I appreciate you, Warren. Yeah, look, the U.S. Coast Guard military teams, they boarded, they seized 2 oil tankers linked to Russia's shadow fleet, including the Marinera, formerly the Bella One. That was in the North Atlantic and the Caribbean. So, yeah, you ain't kidding. They're not playing around. And we could go on and on why that happened and maybe elaborate, but we want to talk about Ilhan Omar, but I want to go back to these phones, man. Let's go to the phone straight there. Let's see here. Caller, you alive on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? That's you, caller? Hey, what's up, Bucking the Crow? What's happening, baby?
Well, I got a definition of collectivism, and that's just a group of people standing around with their hands in their pockets, waiting for somebody that has rugged individualism to do all the work so they can participate in the benefits of it. And so they're going to see real soon that when they're all standing around, they're going to be wanting somebody that's going to be able to do all the work, I guess, so they can put their hands in that person's pocket. So I don't think they're going to have too good a time with their collectivism in New York.
Hey, well said. I think well said. And they're going to find out, and we'll see. We'll see if they change course. If they do, we will applaud them.
Absolutely.
I will be shocked, but I will applaud them. I mean, even if you just turn from your socialist ways, I'll applaud you. You still be a Democrat. I mean, we'll work on you there too, but you know. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, you alive on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Is that me?
That's you. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Josh?
Causing trouble.
I'm calling from Lafayette. My name's Trav.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting into the show, but been seeing a lot of movement online, social media, the news and stuff today about what happened in Minnesota. Just my 2 cents. Former active duty soldier, United States Army.
Thank you.
A lot of these ICE agents, these federal agents, they're former active duty agents, active duty service members as well. While they do have extensive hours of training in dealing with coin patrolling and whatnot due to modern warfare tactics, one thing that the rest of society has to remember is that in the real world, actions have consequences. While you can stand and try and white knight and be a hero and stand up for your cause remember that those actions have consequences. If you're getting in the mix and you're trying to peacefully protest and things get escalated, you have to be aware of your surroundings and you have to have self-awareness.
Hey,
You can't.
hey, am I live? Oh, yeah, there you go. Hey, thank you so much. I was shaking my head. Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you. We had to move on just a little bit, but man, good points. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for tuning in. I think that, and also to the caller, thank you for your service. I was going to ask you what your MOS was, but that's all right. But thank you for your service. And I think your illustration of what the mindset is of many people who have gone through the experiences that you have described, I think you illustrate it very well. And it's hard to do. So I appreciate that. I appreciate me appreciating the word appreciate today. How about that, guys? I'll work on it. Ilhan Omar. Whew. Come on. Now, I'm going to try Q. So this is a Hill report on conservative backlash slowing a little government funding bill after lawmakers objected to a $1 million earmark requested by Ilhan Omar for a Somali-led organization in Minneapolis, right in the middle of Minnesota's widening fraud scandal. So a funding package stalled. Thank you. After Republicans objected to an earmark directing $1,031,000 to the Justice Empowerment Initiative, backed by Omar and Minnesota's Democratic senators. Conservatives raised some little bit of concerns and about accountability, maybe some optics, given ongoing investigations into massive fraud involving Minnesota social programs. House leadership ultimately advanced the bill by splitting it into separate votes. Great. Wish they'd treat every earmark like that. Allowing members to challenge individual provisions. Wow, that sounds like legislation or legislating. I love that. Can we do more of that? GOP leaders signaled at least one earmark may be removed. And I would say that one. Man, here, look, by now we know it's more than just one organization. I mean, this is crazy. This is about more than even about trust. We can say we've hit that, you know.
We're so far past that line, we can't even see it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like, Minnesota's government has burned through that credibility like at record speed, like lightning speed, you know? But think about the earmark situation. A good job. Great job on catching that. Great job on pulling that out and having a single up or down vote. Why don't we do that on every earmark? Why not? We know why. Because politically, what congressman is going to tell the other congressman that they can't get their little earmark when, what are they going to do? They're going to turn on them. It's a sick system. That's why line item veto. I think the Supreme Court got that way wrong, in my humble opinion. Look at the national debt. Look what happened when the Supreme Court took away the president's line item veto. I think it's we the people's veto. Anywho, all right, guys. Woo, stick around. Wellness Wednesday right around the corner. Guys, be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind. Yeah.